So let's talk about the West Virginia basketball program, specifically the head coach. I'm Pete Mundo, Heartland College Sports. It's good to be here with you. It is ugly as we have this conversation. And frankly, I don't see how Bob Huggins survives this. If I'm running West Virginia, Bob Huggins is not my head coach come Monday. If you haven't seen the details, Bob Huggins was arrested for a DUI in Pittsburgh late Friday night, about 8:30, 9 o'clock on Friday night. And the details are really disturbing. Now, if you've seen the details, then you know what I'm going to say. If you haven't, here are some of the details. Bob Huggins' blood alcohol content was 0.21%. That is more than twice the legal limit of 0.08 in Pennsylvania. He was in Pittsburgh on Friday. Other details include Bob Huggins possibly being unaware of what city he was in. This is per the police report. The West Virginia basketball coach told police officers he had been to a basketball camp with his brother in Sherrodsville, Ohio, which is about 90 minutes from Pittsburgh. An officer said Huggins was asked multiple times what city he was in, but never got a clear response, with the coach mentioning the city of Columbus a few times. Huggins was driving a black SUV about 8:30 p.m. in Pittsburgh. Officers observed the vehicle in the middle of the road, blocking traffic. The report added the driver's side door was open and the vehicle had a flat and shredded tire. Huggins had trouble maneuvering the SUV. The officers questioned Huggins and believed he was intoxicated, asked him to perform a sobriety test, which he failed. I defended Bob Huggins and felt that he should not have been fired when he went on that radio show in Cincinnati and used those homophobic slurs. I defended him to the very end. I did not think it was fair for this guy to get fired, to lose a Hall of Fame career over, yes, dopey comments, yes, wrong comments, yes, homophobic slurs. I did not think that was the reason that you end a guy's career, especially a guy like Bob Huggins at West Virginia. But when you've got a guy driving 2.5 times the legal limit, not apparently understanding or knowing, or certainly not being clear on what city he's in, putting other people's lives at risk. You know, what do we often say? And sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. We are in a world right now, we're in an environment right now where people care more about words than they do the sticks and stones. Not that the words can't be bad. Not that the words should not be condemned. But we're in this weird place where we care more about words than we do actions of individuals. And I'm the reverse. Not that words can't hurt, not that words can't offend, but I don't think you end careers over words. I think you do end careers, and you are fair to fire people over actions. And as the head basketball coach of the West Virginia Mountaineers, who, yes, just stepped in it about a month ago with this, Cincinnati radio story, to then a month later be driving 2.5 times the legal limit in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, not being clear and not totally knowing what city you're in. That's embarrassing, and that is putting the lives of other people at risk. Drunk driving costs lives on a daily basis in this country, every single day. And it's not something to excuse. It's not something to joke about. And to have the lack of self-awareness, if you're Bob Huggins, to be doing what he was apparently doing. And, it's like, connect the dots. You're a 70-year-old man, nearly 69. You're a 70-year-old man. Like, this is what kids do. It's what dopey, immature children do. And for whatever reason, I don't know if it's that Bob Huggins thinks he can get away with anything there. I mean, the team has sucked the last couple of years, so I'm not sure why he would feel that way. I don't know if he thinks he's bulletproof. I don't know. But as a guy who defended him during the radio show drama, radio show comments last month. I can't defend this. I can't. It's inexcusable. The officer noted garbage bags with empty beer containers inside the vehicle and in the trunk. Like, what was going on? That's something that you might do when you're in college because you're a dopey 21-year-old. Not 69-year-old grown men who are the face of one of the biggest basketball programs in the country. The most recognizable figure in the state. Are you kidding me? I cannot sit here and give Bob Huggins the benefit of the doubt with a .21 BAC. I can't do it. And, I've seen some of your responses on Twitter and on social media. I got this on Twitter. Pete, great coach. Whoever of us is perfect gets to throw the first stone, not me. Listen, I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not suggesting any of us are perfect. None of us are. There's been one perfect person in the history of humankind, and we all know who that is, and we all know who that was. Not you, not me, not Bob Huggins. But that doesn't mean that West Virginia doesn't have to make a serious decision and potential consideration to say to themselves, this is at the point of embarrassment. This is at the point of embarrassment for West Virginia University, for the basketball program, for those players. And yes, it will set back this program because they had a great class coming in, transfers, everything else. This is going to set back the program. But that's not the fault of Bob Huggins if he potentially gets fired. It's not going to be the fault of the people that end up firing Bob Huggins, possibly. It will be the fault of Bob Huggins himself. Because a near 70-year-old man apparently has no restraint over his drinking at near 70 years old as the face of, certainly the biggest athletic program, certainly basketball program in the entire state. And I can't sit here and defend that. I can't. There has to be actions for consequences like this. I will defend the guy on the radio show. I will. I think that's important too. I think that, dumb comments can be made. You can learn from them. You can apologize. Dumb words and comments don't have to define you. But then to have this happen a month later tells me that there's very little respect for the job that he holds and what he represents to an entire state of people there in West Virginia. And it's not to say that we all haven't made mistakes. We all have. Some have made mistakes like this. Right? I mean, it's not the only one. Not the last one to get a DUI in college sports, pro sports, in real life. But this, and frankly, I also would pray the man would get help at 2.5 times the legal limit. I really would. And then getting in a car. You're Bob Huggins, of all people. It's not like you can't afford an Uber. Not saying he was around the corner from Morgantown, but I'm just pointing out you're Bob Huggins. So it is tough sledding right now for West Virginia, and it's very, very sad as well. Really sad.